Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Back on Sunday at our regular time. Hi. Okay, so today we're doing this guy here. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. So I'm just going to tell you that now. Just be prepared. We're going to use 3 strands. So I chose this kind of dark red. It's got like a touch of purple in it. And then for the outline, I'm going to do this one. But you can choose any colors that you want. We're going to start with 3 strands. Okay. And all we're going to do is satin stitch all of these little parts, each and every single one of them. And then we're going to outline with a stem stitch, 2 strands. So I'm not sure if I'll video the whole flower because, oh my gosh, it does take a while. But that's okay. Let me zoom in. Sorry, you might get a little, just changing the camera so I can put in a good place. And if you need to, because we are doing satin stitch, if you need to add the lines to help you make it straight, you can. They don't have to be perfect in any kind of way. But you're going to kind of do one down the middle. Yeah? And kind of go around the same way. All the way around. Yeah? All the way around. So let's just see how far I get here. Hi. Good morning. This is super good practice for your satin stitches because you have to really fill the space. And we only have 3 strands. We're only using 3 strands. So you're just going to keep on going, making them a little bit smaller at the top than they are in the middle because it is a circle. So you want to keep that shape. If they're a little bit wonky, don't worry because we're going to outline them anyways. So, good morning, Meg. Happy Sunday. Now, I know some people like to outline it all first and then fill in each shape because as you can see, even with just the lines on there, it can get a little bit confusing as to like which petal is which petal. I don't seem to have a problem, but if you do, then of course you can outline first. The outline is 2 strands and it is a stem stitch. So just in case you wanted to like skip ahead or not do it this way, then you can do that totally. Meg says, how did the craft and flea market go? It was really good. Thank thank you for asking. It was really good. It was so nice to like meet a bunch of different makers, but also like a bunch of different customers and people coming to look and just like get to chat to different people. Like, I really do love doing markets, like not just for money, but like to actually be able to talk to people. And you know, I love a chat. How about you? Did you have a good Saturday? Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me. Thank you. So I like to do them in like layers. So like first it was the middle, and then I'm going to do these three, and then I'm going to do these three. And then from there, just kind of work my way to the very, very last outer layer of petals. Meg says, yeah, I went to watch Downton Abbey with my sister-in-law. Whenever I say, or whenever I type out Downton Abbey, it changes it to Downtown Abbey, just like it did to you. Every time. I'm always like, no, I typed exactly what I wanted to type, okay? Change it back. David and Jessie and my mother-in-law, Carol, they're all in Malvern's at the moment doing a little practice walk. And my house is so quiet. I left at like 7:30. And so this morning I like watched a little bit of TV in bed. And I was like, well, I should probably get up now, huh? But the house is like so quiet. So quiet. It's weird. You could have done the Stitchalong in bed. No way. The way our house is, like where I'm at now, like the back of the house is like facing the sun. So the front of the house where my bedroom is, or our bedroom is always like nice and cool because like the sun never heats it up. So it's always like dark and like a little bit chilly. How cool would that be though? Like with your duvet, like all like cozied up. Okay. So for these ones, I do kind of tend to like jump around. I don't normally do like the satin stitch, like the perfect way, how you're meant to go. You know, up here, up, down, all in a row. I kind of just jump to wherever I need to go. And since we're going to fill them all up anyways, it doesn't really matter. Oh, good. I was like, I hope there's not a big knot back there. Because that would be annoying. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this one and do these two, and then I'll show how to outline, because This is probably the longest flower out of all of the flowers and leaves. It does take ages. Mike says, was it strange to do the stitch along at 7 p.m. last night? It actually really was. I was like, this doesn't feel right. And surprisingly, I guess, well, unsurprisingly, because it was a Saturday night, there weren't a lot of people who watched. So I kind of thought that more people would go just because, or come to watch it live. But it was Saturday, so like that's really not a convenient day or time. But that's okay. I think I did it at like 6:30 because I wanted to make sure that after I did the craft and fleet, like I came straight home to do it. Mike says it makes a change for you. Yeah, I think during the week it would be nice, like if more people from the States were able to watch. But it's really like not a convenient time for them until like in the evening in the States time, I keep saying in the States time, but it's because there's multiple time zones. So yeah, it's kind of like a bummer, but like my mom is the Eastern time zone, so it's 5 hours. So like a good time for them is probably like 6 or 7 p.m. their time. But then if you count 5 hours, that's like 12 o'clock at night, my time. So it's a bit like I can't be doing the stitch along at 12 o'clock at night. Although if I knew that people would go, I definitely knew that people would show up, I might stay up and do one just to like have a little party, you know? It might be kind of fun. A midnight stitching party. Midnight madness. That's what they used to call it in the States. So like they used to have these sales. This is like a way throwback. They used to have these sales when I was little. And they would start at midnight or like 10 o'clock until midnight. And they'd be in like JCPenney or Sears or something. My mom is not on here right now, so I can't ask her. But I remember like the little flyers showing up and everything. I don't know if we ever went to one. But it would be like super late at night, and then like the later it got, like the more sales there were. So like if you came at 10, it'd be like 10% off or something. But if you came at like 3 a.m., there'd be like mega discounts. And it was called Midnight Madness. The Midnight Madness sale. And they would have a flyer, and it would be like a nighttime like theme, like all like black and like dark blue, and there'd be like a moon on it. Sorry, I'm just over here laughing to myself. Bianca says, do you plan to make a stitch along for autumn? So I've been kind of playing around with this because the autumn stitch along would have to be in November, but that's kind of like really soon, and people start like doing their Christmas shopping then. So like I'm not sure if like people would do it. 2, if people would have time to do it. I've been doing them like every 2 months. So like the last one was in June. So like then July, August were off. And then September was the next one, if that makes any sense. I'm just trying to see if I can. No. Sometimes if you like put it in the right light, then you can see all the stitches better, you know? I don't know what the deal is. Okay, so the next step, before I forget, I'm going to change to a smaller needle. That's just my preference. You don't have to. And then I'm going to choose this lighter colored thread and only 2 strands. So you need to pull just 2 out of your whatever color that you choose. Mike says a Christmas stitch along, like an advent calendar, but up to Christmas. Okay, so that was my second idea. So at first I was like, I could do November and make it like a autumn type theme. And like maybe not have as many days or something. But I was like, I don't know if that's too soon. My other idea was the Christmas stitch along, but I'm going back to the States for Christmas this year, which means that I'm not going to be here to do like, I won't be here on like Christmas Eve or a couple days before it. I think we leave on the 21st. So it's like, how to fix that? I'm just making 2 knots in the bottom because there's less threads. So I want to make sure that it doesn't go through the hole that I make. Okay, so you cannot see it very well, but there's a circle and then 3 and then 3 more. Yeah? Maybe I'll do a poll in my stories because everyone really liked, let me see if I can grab it really well. Everyone really liked the September pattern. Got something in my eye. And some people had asked if this one can be if this one can be like the autumn stitch along, which I would be so down for. I love this pattern. But I don't know. Okay, so for the outline, we're going to use the stem stitch. You're going to make really, really, really tiny stitches for the middle. So you're going to go up, and I've got a skinnier needle because I've only got two strands. And because it's so small, you're literally going to make the tiniest little stitches. So if you know how the stem stitch works, we're now going to go up in the middle of these 2. Of these, where I came up and where I went down. Yeah? And then you're going to pull it tight if I don't have a knot on the back. Man, why you got to do this to me today? Why today? Why you got to do it to me today? Can you not? Why today? Huh? With the knot. Can you just not make a knot? Thanks. Pull her through. And you're going to do another one. And it is hard to see, but you're going to come up where you went down the first time. These are going to be even smaller than the other ones because 1, the circle is so small. And 2, if you don't make them shorter, then they aren't going to twist around in a nice way. They're going to kind of go across the middle. I don't want Grammarly. Leave me alone. I don't need a new phone. Go away. What's with the new ads? Like, I used to always listen to YouTube on doing these. And now all of a sudden there's like ads in the middle of every single video. What are you doing? They're the same videos that I used to watch before. So it doesn't make any sense. I feel like I've chosen the worst colors in the world for this because you cannot see very well. So you want to keep on making those really small stitches all the way around. Until you get to the beginning where you started from. And you're going to make one more little stitch to complete it. Yeah, so now we're like, I've already made one stitch in to where I started from, but we still need to do one more so it can keep that little circle. Yeah, so there's one, and then we just keep going. So this is where I said that maybe you might get a little bit mixed up, because if you look, almost all of these stitches look like they're all the same. So you kind of have to remember where the outline was a little bit. The other way is that you can outline it all first. And then go back and do the satin stitch in the middle. You just need to kind of tuck your stitches, these stitches here on the edge, underneath the outline if you do it that way. Whereas this one, we're kind of covering up the stitches that we've made. So if they're a little bit like this, how they don't all go like in a nice straight line, it doesn't really matter because we're going to cover it up anyways. And for these outer petals, you can make them, your stitches, your stem stitches, a little bit bigger. They don't have to be so tiny like they do for the middle one. For the middle one, it's just such a tiny little circle that they have to be that small, or else you will lose the shape that you've made. Bianca says, what kind of wood should I choose for my hoops? I got a bamboo one and don't like it. It doesn't get tight enough. I use bamboo ones, and it just depends. When you pick them out or when you get them, you have to make sure that both of the circles touch each other all the way around. There shouldn't be any gaps at all. So let me see if I've got one over here. So this is a bamboo one. It's not tightened all the way. But when it's tightened all the way, you want to make sure that they're tight together like this all the way. If you find any that are not tight, let me see if this one does. Because a couple of these little 3-inch ones, they don't get tight enough. Or actually, you can tell right here. See how this goes down a little bit? Right there. You can kind of push and it like goes in really easy. That's not tight enough there. So you want to choose the ones that go all the way around. People use different kinds of wood ones, I do know, but I just tend to stick to these ones. I think a lot of it is that I like to pick them out in person. I don't like to order them online. So I know when you do order them online, sometimes you can get them cheaper, but then you kind of run the risk of them not being, nice. There's a couple places from Amazon that I found that are really nice, but they only ship to the UK. So if you're in the UK, maybe you can look on Amazon. They will be more expensive, but I've only gotten those when I'm like desperate. Like if I've run out of hoops and I can't go to like a local place. So, and I think you can also go to places like Cloudcraft. .co.uk, I think that's their website. I haven't gotten any from them before, but I know that some people really like those. And some people, they will sell ones that are not just bamboo ones. They'll be made from other wood. Yeah, how are we doing? Are we getting it or no? Are you a little bit confused? Because I feel like the dark color is like deterring me. a little bit concerned that you can't actually tell what I'm doing. Bianca says that she's waiting for her first DMC order. She ordered some hoops for them, and she hopes they will be a good quality. I hope that they are as well. It's like such a bummer when your fabric won't get tight enough though. And I know that like in the other stitch-alongs I've showed, if you go to like the prep videos for some of the other stitch-alongs, I've showed how you can like use some tape, like masking tape, and if you can tape the inside hoop here and build up the tape just a little bit right there, then you can make them work. But you really shouldn't have to, you know, they should come ready to use and like made properly. It's such a bummer when something like if your shoes didn't work, you would return them, you know? Like if your oven didn't work, you would return it. So it's kind of like the same with these. That's kind of the way that I've, you know, you don't like to complain, but at the same time, it's like if it doesn't work for what it's made for, then there's a problem, right? So I will finish outlining these last two petals that I've done. And you can kind of see I've used like bigger stitches here, and they're not like as tight and twisted as they have been on this one. So just keep that in mind when you're doing it. It is a little bit tedious, but let me tell you, they do look really pretty, these flowers, when they're finished. What in the world? You see Jessie's hair? And an eyelash, apparently. Weird. I bought a pair of tweezers that are only in my embroidery kit, just so that I can pick off all the little Jessie hairs. Because if you don't know, she's a husky mix, but she's got short hair, and they shed a lot. I don't ever have to get her groomed, but she sheds a lot. Why are you doing this? Just let me stem stitch it. Just let me do it. So yeah, hopefully you can kind of see how it looks now with the outline nearly finished. This will be one that tries your patience a little bit. It even tries my patience sometimes. I think that we talked about this before, like being in the mood to stitch. I do think when you put like, maybe it's darker things. Yeah. There we go. You can see the stitches real well now. Just Just needed a wood slice to be on there. So yeah, you can totally see how these are bigger stitches and they're kind of like coming up like that. Yeah, so make sure that when you do the middle, this one, you keep them really, really small because you do not want this lifting to happen. So actually what I'm gonna do is just put a little, do I recommend doing this? No, but now it's pushed down because I made it too big. Yeah? Okay. Well, I wish I would have known that before. Well, I hope you guys have a great Sunday. Today is going to be spent sorting out all the stuff from my market yesterday. And then obviously like house stuff, because after making all that stuff for kind of two and a half weeks, my house is not clean, like at all. So I'll be doing that. I hope you guys have a great Sunday. If you're doing leaves, I will see you tomorrow. If you're doing flowers, I will see you on Tuesday. So have a great day. Tag me in your photos. Make sure you're going to the hashtag. You can go through and give some love and encouragement to all the other people who are doing the stitch along. That would be lovely. And yeah, I'll talk with you later. Bye.